What's going on, everybody? Broken Games HDR back at it again with another video. So, yesterday, news came out that PlayStation has canceled two other live service games that were in development. One by Sony Bend and another one by Bluepoint Games, which was reportedly a God of War live service game. So, everybody knows I have been an advocate of this live service initiative. Still am, still will be. I told y'all that will never change because I love multiplayer games, so I want them to keep trying to make them. So this doesn't change anything for me. I already told y'all no matter what happens, I'm still going to want them to create multiplayer games. So I agree with the mission. What I've been completely against is their strategy. I'm with the mission. I'm against the strategy. The strategy has been completely fucking idiotic. It doesn't make sense. And I feel like me, who has no experience making games, making decisions on a high level as an executive, as a CEO, as in C-suite, I feel like I would be able to make better decisions than they are. And maybe it's because the side of being a gamer helps me. Maybe that's what it is. Because my first reaction when I saw this news was not necessarily the same as everybody else's. Mine was, why the hell is Bluepoint Games making a live service game? Not a live service God of War game, because I played the God of War Ascension multiplayer, and I know a lot of people may have not during that time because a lot of people thought it was just some tacked on bullshit. But that multiplayer was freaking amazing. It was really great. I think I still have videos up on my channel of it right now. You can literally go to my channel, type in Broken Games HDR and God of War Ascension multiplayer, and I still have the videos up. Probably a lot of inappropriate language in that because, 13 years ago or however long it was. Yeah, you know how it was. But why the hell was Bluepoint Games specifically making a live service game? I was like, what? What? Sony Bend made sense for me. I'm like, Sony Bend, I think they can do that. Them working on a live service game, that was already reported. That doesn't surprise me. But why was Bluepoint Games, a studio that has essentially done nothing but make remakes, why were they? You gotta, how many degrees making a live service game is from only having experience making a remake? Like there is many degrees of separation, many steps where you just jumped over a whole bunch of shit to get to live service. My problem is PlayStation's strategy. They seem to treat making a multiplayer game is challenging in itself. Making a live service game, I keep saying, is even harder. And they treat making multiplayer live service games as if anybody could do it, and anybody has the potential to do it, is my belief. But you have to make changes. You can't only make remakes, right? Or only make single player games on Monday and then suddenly have everything you need and be completely prepared to make a multiplayer live service game on Tuesday. It doesn't work like that. You have to change your philosophy. You have to hire people. You have to consult. Bro, it's just doesn't. Anybody can do it, but you have to make changes. You have to make adjustments. That's my thing. So that's why I don't subscribe to the PlayStation studios can't make multiplayer games. They can't make multiplayer games as is. There are changes that has to be made so you can do that. Hire the right staff, get the right guidance, the right leaders, right? That's my issue with what they're doing. They're trying to do something completely like polar opposite from another realm with the same staff. To me, the biggest issue, the biggest the thing that sucks the most about all this is not wasted money, it's wasted time. Money, your money, you lose it, you gain it. It comes and it goes. It can be earned and lost again. That time, you can't get that shit back. That time, you cannot get it back. We've already been talking. I've said many times that, like, yo, some of these studios are not gonna be able to release more than one game in a generation, which is insane. And some of the and one, it's one of the even if you've been good with time management and like you didn't have any hiccups, like I'm talking about just any studio outside of PlayStation, and you released a good game, you still might not have time to release a second game in one generation just because of how long games take to make and things like that, and how they're making games, i.e., everything has to be this freaking open world game. So I already thought like this generation need to be extended anyway, or developers need to change the way they're making games. But anyway, now Sony Bend and Bluepoint Games. Now I don't know when they've canceled, because when this stuff is reported, it's not like, oh, this was reported yesterday and they actually canceled the game yesterday. That's very unlikely how it happened. I would say maybe it was canceled a few months ago, something like that, and now we're learning about it. It's not happening in real time. Not that makes a difference, but it was most likely, it was definitely canceled before I would assume it was canceled before the new year, because that's when they typically make those type of choices, is like, we're gonna stop this before the new year comes around. So I think it was probably canceled and you know killed last year. They're not shutting down Sony Bend. They're not shutting down Bluepoint Games. But now they have to pivot, figure out what they're going to make next. And it probably won't release in this generation. It's going to look insane if you have multiple studios that don't release a game in an entire generation. And that's what they're on pace to do. That's what they're on pace to do. Like I said, I was an advocate. I am an advocate of these multiplayer live service games. Won't change. But I was never, and people like to like put me on the hook for everything. I just wanted some multiplayer games. I never said I wanted them to make 12. Never said I wanted every PlayStation studio to be making them. Never said any of this stuff. I just wanted some multiplayer games. If I was in charge, I would have went about this completely differently. It wouldn't even have been like most PlayStation studios working on live service games. I would have been. I told y'all what I would have done. I would have gave the license to of a few IPs to some studios that are skilled and experienced in making multiplayer games. It would have been like, let me see, let me think off the top of my head. It would have been like maybe 2 or 3, and I'm talking about, because they shut down some studios since then. But at the time when this started, it would have been 2, max 3 PlayStation studios working on live service games. The ones that made sense, and then all the rest of them would have been second party partners. Some studio I'm doing, you're doing some collaboration with, some third party you have a relationship with. It wouldn't have mainly been first party studios. This would have been, I would have handled this way differently. So I don't know why the hell they went about it the way they did. That wasted time, like I said, you cannot get back. They did confirm, I don't know if I said that already, they're not shutting down these studios. But like I said, the wasted time, you can't get back. And it's so weird to me because, so the director of Bluepoint Games tweeted out like last year that nothing has changed. They are still continuing to work on an original title, original game. Okay, sure. Technically, you can work on a God of War. Technically, you can work on a game that's not an original IP and it be an original game. But listen, when you tell me you're working on an original title, to me that means that means to me a new IP. That means you're creating something completely from scratch that hasn't been done before, hasn't been used before. So I don't think you should call to me, making a multiplayer God of War game when God of War already exists, to me, is not original. That to me, that's not original. If you look up if you want to get to the actual, pure definition of the word, to me, that's not original. So when he said that, I'm like, yeah, you kind of, that wasn't to me, that wasn't the right word to use. It's not original. That's not what it is. Original implies that this is something from your brain that you are the first to do it, and you've created it from your mind. Didn't come from anywhere else. So I was like, okay, to me, you're kind of full of shit for saying that. And Sony Bend, listen, bring back Siphon Filter. Like, bro, Siphon Filter would go off would go off today. Third person, virus story. Well, we may have a few too many virus stories, but this is kind of different. This is like, it would be like espionage, military terrorism type virus type thing. Reboot Siphon Filter, bro. Like I think that's where they should go, in my opinion. So yeah, it is what it is. They've canceled 2 other games. I agree with the mission. Don't agree with the strategy. I hope they dumbass have learned, will learn. Listen, I'm a lowly consumer, but PlayStation. If you want to know if something will work, ask me. I'll tell you if the shit gonna be trash, if it's gonna fail. I'll let you know. And I'll give y'all a for a company of y'all magnitude with y'all money, I ain't gonna kill y'all bank. I'm joking, because of course they ain't gonna consult with me, but I would have kept them out of this mess. I would have kept them out. Listen, I don't know nothing, but I would have been like, you can't go about it that way. That's not gonna work. This is a multiplayer live service is a specialized field. You need professionals and experts. Can't just rely on what you got. You're going to have to make some changes. I would at least told them that. And I don't know nothing. But here we are. I'm sure we'll talk about it on Weapon Wheel. Let me know what y'all think. Hit the like button. Follow me on Twitter. All that good shit. Catch y'all on the next video. Peace.